Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generational Wrestling Podcast. As always, is yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes King, too cold in the building, bros. Going on.
Man, nothing much, man. Just got done finishing off this NXT standard delivery that we just got through watching. Hmm, interesting show. Interesting show, man. We had a little bit of small conversation about it before we went on live, but man, let's go ahead and kick this thing off, man. If you ready, I'm ready.
All right. Well, first of all, Leo, what's good, my guy? You never miss. You always on time. What's happening, bro? All right, man. So to start off, man. So we had the pre-show, the kickoff match, which happened right before the main card hit the air, and that was the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. We got Toxic Attraction, JC Jane, Gigi Dolan versus the reunited Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Tuco, we had Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. They ended up picking up the victory. I lost. You won that one. I will say this, man. It was cool. We said that, this show, it felt reminiscent to a degree of what we liked about the black and gold NXT. We kind of see the flavoring of the new NXT, the 2.0, but then we also see the main roster polish and
the backing of it,
the backing of especially production value wise of Vince and the main roster. With that being said, I will admit this. Even though I did lose, I am happy to see Raquel and Dakota, win the tag team titles again. I will say I am a little confused by the decision because, you were pushing Toxic Attraction so hard and Raquel just got back. So I'm kind of confused. Like, are we not calling her up just yet? Do they not have faith in the women's tag team division down there and they want to put it back on somebody who they know has got a legit history with the championship? But the match itself, to me, and this is not a knock, but I got to be honest. This match, I feel, was too botchy, and I feel like it was the chemistry just wasn't there. And I don't know if that's because Raquel ain't been there in a while, or they haven't tagged in a while, or what the case was. Glad they won, but to me, the match was a little sloppy, too cold. With that being said, man, Raquel, Dakota Kai, do you think against Toxic Attraction right now is the right time for them to pick these belts up?
Yeah, because to be honest, Toxic Attraction hasn't really been nothing more than just hype for Mandy Rose. I there's not the women have done nothing with those belts that makes or really anything interesting to me in my eyes that signifies why they need to be champions. If Santos could be a champion, but but the other two don't be champion, Mandy Rose could have just stayed a champion. I understand you did to put the group over, and that was cool. Right. But they've had the championships for way too long. And go play with them on the show. Go over with Auntie. And it was just it was more than time to probably take the titles off of them. Why wasn't it Kaylee Ray and Io? I don't know why. See, that's the thing that bothers me. See, I didn't watch the past NXT, so I'm pretty sure they probably explained it. But even explaining it, that was probably still didn't make sense to why. Why couldn't you have just flipped it and just put them in the women's match? It's not like they earned a reason. They didn't earn a title shot for the tag team championships. Like I understand what Candice LeRae and Io had offered, but at the same time, they won the Dusty Cup. They should have been fighting for the tag team championships. You should have left Raquel and Dakota be in the championship match. Like that would have made more sense then because neither one of them won. She had just got back. If you wanted to put her in the match to give her something to do or just to kind of make the match a little more spicy, sure, okay. I can understand that more than anything, but okay, you did it. So now what do you do with Io? Like, I'm sorry, I hated what they did with the Dusty Cup winners in this pay-per-view. Like, I felt the wrong decision was made. They asked backwards on that. Like, for me, this show had decision making that kind of turned off certain things and just really didn't like it went over, but it didn't go over as it probably should have with me. And this was one of those things where, okay, I like that they won. I'm cool with them because they're former tag team champions. Uh, what's going to come of it? I don't know, considering how they were before it, and now all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're good. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I'm being flashy like. See, and I think that's just what it is. I feel like I got flashy light. I feel like somebody went and got
Okay.
the raw flashy light and brought it to NXT.
Hey,
And
a case of the Vinnie Max.
man, for real. And that kind of it's like, all right, okay, but you didn't build that. For me, I don't know, man. It just wasn't built. Like the Dusty Cup was built, so I felt like them when if EO and Katie Ray had won, I think people would have been as happy, if not more happy.
Yeah.
But you had a returning Gonzalez, a Dakota Kai. People actually liked them as a tag team, so I get why people were excited, and I was excited too. But my thing is story, background, meaning. Okay, there's just no meaning, and I've just come to the grips, man, that when Triple H was running NXT, it was more focused on the wrestling aspect
Yeah.
of making sure guys knew how to work in the ring, and then they were and also harnessing their craft when talking. Now uh, it's truly the opposite of that. It's not that anymore, and I have to learn to look at it different, but it's hard for me when you still do certain elements of the things that were good, but then you main roster it, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
come on, man, really, like, come on, man, really, and that's kind of what this was, and that's kind of how the whole show was, but yeah.
No, no. I mean, you absolutely 100% correct. And you know what? We gonna talk a little bit more about that because there's something that happened during the show that really made me feel that way. All right, the next up, man. So we get the first match of the main card. We get the North
Right.
American Championship title match. We get Cameron Grimes. And help me out if I forget somebody. We get Cameron Grimes. We get that boy Carmelo Hayes. We got Santos
Willer.
Escobar. We got Solo Sikoa. We got Grayson Waller. Now, Tuco, I
Russell
will
Waller.
say this. This match, man, started off a little shaky for me, but man, it got good quick. Hey, I've been
Mm.
a huge supporter of Grayson Waller. I know you kind of iffy on him. The guy, man, even though he did not win, the guy, man, he has shown more than enough proofs to me his love for this business. Uh,
Mm.
the guy, man, he has taken some crazy spots, and
Mm-hmm.
but my thing is, to me, I don't feel like he's. I know the gimmick is somebody who's trying to go viral and stuff like that. I understand, but actually watching him in the ring, because I'm not gonna lie, when he first came on the scene, I'm like, who the hell is this? These loose ass boxer shorts. I'm like, bro, hey, looking like Floyd Mayweather and half the size of Floyd, and Floyd ain't even tall. What the hell going on? He like, you know what I'm saying? He like a skinny butter baby. You know what I'm saying? With highlights in his head. and I'm trying to figure, and I'm, and I'm trying to figure out what's
You
going
fool.
on with my dude, man. He looked like he the goddamn professor from the N1 tournament. You know,
Right.
it's like it's a whole lot of different looks going on. I'm just so confused. But I will say he's won me over. He had some nice spots in this one. Santos had some nice spots. I but this match, it was, as much as I liked it, it was very botchy. There was one point in the match where you had Solo Sikoa going for the running hip attack. I believe it was Grayson Waller who was leaned up against the ladder, and then you had
Mm-hmm.
Santos leaned up against the ladder. He was down on the ground, and you could tell he kind of looked at seeing he was too far away and scooted himself in front of the ladder. And then Solo did his move, and then there was one with Electra Lopez where she did a running springboard off the turnbuckle to the outside, but she almost fell, and it seemed like she had a hard time. She had, getting to the top. It was just like little things like that. The big guy, man, the big Indian guy. I forget his name, but he could not sell for shit. I mean, god damn, dude,
Oh yeah, yeah. When he tried, yeah, when
like
Trick
there's
got
no,
pulled up, when Trick got pushed on, when Grimes lifted up the ladder and pushed Trick out, and
yeah,
Trick landed on him, and dude, he caught him, and uh,
yeah.
oh,
It's
oh,
like,
and
bruh.
then laid out like, oh, dude, really? Like, come on, man! It took you 5 minutes to to finally lay down, dude. Come on, man.
Well, that, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe it was Solo Sikoa or somebody, one of them, man. But they did it. It was a bigger guy, and maybe it's Mello. Ran out the ring, did a front flip to the outside. Okay, bro, I understand. You tall as hell, you big as shit. You might be stronger than a motherfucker, okay? But god damn, if a motherfucker is running and they're jumping, I'm pretty sure that what the ring got to be at least 3-4 feet tall
Mm,
off the ground. And I would
right.
imagine you jump up a little bit, you probably getting at least another 2 to 3 feet, all right, maybe 6-7 feet in the air. You telling me this grown ass man, 200 plus pounds, flying through the air with that much force coming down, you can't pretend like the motherfucker moves you just a little bit.
Man, you could have called him, man. Oh, and then fall down. Like, man, come on, man. Yeah,
It's like they
that,
bounced off of him and they hit the floor. And he realized, like, oh shit, I supposed to go down too. Oh,
oh, oh, like damn, dude. Like, man, they did like 6 new moves after you finally hit the ground, bro. Like, come on, man.
Leo said like the 1980s soap operas.
Man, bruh, for real, like, dude, like,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, little stuff like that, but overall, it was a really good
boy,
match. It was exciting. Hey, that boy, Waller, he
nasty.
definitely took a
I think he
spill.
legit hurt because if you watch the
I
replay,
think
his
he hurt.
arm really went through that rung. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, I don't know if it broke or just because of the pain, the impact of it, and just really just numbed the shit out of his arm, but it also hurt the hell out of his arm. But yeah, man, no, it was a brutal match. I thought my boy Santos was going to get it, but my boy Grimes, he pulled out and he
yeah.
took me to the moon as your
Moon.
new North American champion, man. So
Yeah.
I picked my boy. So yeah, I was going with him and Escobar. I felt like those were the two. If somebody was winning it, it was one of those two. I didn't think it would be anybody else. So yeah.
All right, Tuco, man. All right, I'm gonna let you take it from here.
All right, man. So and then of course, we had let's see, we had that match, and then of course, man, we got the I was supposed to be the brutal match, well, at least one of them, Champa and D'Angelo Hall. Uh, Not a bad match. You got Champa coming out, kind of paying a tribute to Triple H and Shawn Michaels, doing the water spit on the ringside, and then of course doing the HBK pose and whatnot. And it was a really, you could tell it was really a send off. And I think that was kind of the one thing I I liked the match, but I kind of hated that because you were making it too obvious. Like, we knew it, but man, I want you more focused on the match. You could still do some of the stuff you do, but you were doing a whole bunch of extra stuff too. And I feel like you were just trying to get all the farewells out and before the match was over. And I felt it kind of was a little rushed. Like, they did a lot, but I also felt it was rushed.
Yeah.
And um, of course, Champa got the victory. I didn't necessarily like the DDT on the outside. It made sense, but uh, look, D'Angelo needed to win. He's your new star. He's the one you got to build up. Man, Champa, Champa was Champa. He was himself, uh, and he got the respect that he was definitely due from the NXT crowd, and that love and appreciation for his time there, being like you say, the underdog, the black heart, the champion. He's won all the belts except for the North American. Um, but yeah, man, he's definitely made his mark in NXT, and he'll always have that respect.
Tuco, man.
And we got to see Triple H. We got to see
We
Triple H for the first time on WWE TV in a very long time. So it was cool to see him come out to embrace Champa and to thank him and to make sure he got his roses for everything that he did in NXT. So that most definitely got to mention that part. That Triple H, we got to see Triple H, and just that was awesomeness. I ain't gonna lie, man. To hear that music come on, like, oh shit,
yeah.
like that felt kind of good. So yeah, that for me. The match was cool, but that was really more of what that was for me.
No. I mean, you absolutely correct. When we did our WrestleMania, our WrestleMania moments and matches. Last week or earlier this week, I can't remember. It's all blending together now. But
It was
we were
earlier
talking
this
about.
week.
Yeah, when we were talking about moments and matches and just time periods and wrestling history, specifically WWE. We talked about the end of an era, right? We talked about the end of the Attitude Era, the Golden Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, and now I think it's more official than ever. We have officially entered the end of the Black and Gold era. You had Tommaso Ciampa kind of hanging on a little bit after Johnny Gargano. I think when Johnny Gargano left, you kind of really was like, okay, well, after all the hirings and firings and reshufflings and call ups, it was kind of like, all right, well, after Gargano, Ciampa ain't too far behind. And today was it. And
yeah.
it was truly like it was truly an end of an era. And once again, like you said, to have Triple H come out because Tommaso Ciampa was a product of Triple H's baby, right? Tommaso Ciampa was one of those success stories. Tommaso Ciampa was a guy like that going up against Triple H and Vince McMahon's system back in the day wouldn't have made it. Triple H, being who he is, being a student of the game that he is, he realized like, hey, the world is changing, right? Everybody isn't jack 6'2", 250 pounds like me, but there's a market, there's an appetite for people who look like a Johnny Gargano, for people who look like a Finn Balor, for women who look like an Asuka or an Io Shirai or a Dakota Kai. And so for him, like you said, to come out, we haven't seen this guy in months. It's kind of like when we see Triple H nowadays, it's damn near like seeing Vince McMahon, like, oh shit. All right, for Vince to show his face on TV or for Triple H these days, it's like, God damn, this must be special. And to see him come out and embrace Ciampa, to know what Ciampa meant to him and to the brand, man. Like you said, to me, the match was cool, felt a little rushed, but I'm going to remember this for the moment that happened after.
Yeah.
And Tony D ended up, getting a nice little rub after it. All right, Tuco, man. Next up, what we got, baby?
Yeah, and you got the points for it. But next up, man, we got that women's championship match. Look, I'm not gonna lie, not a bad match. Fatal 4-way. I think this was a good match. It had its moments of botchy. I think Sky Blue or no, what is that her name? Sky Blue? No, that ain't her name.
No, that's AEW.
That's AEW, right? That's AEW. I don't know, man. They look the same. The skater chick.
Cora Jade.
I didn't write her name down because she didn't win. I'm looking at the predictions. I'm not looking at the card. Yeah, she. I could have did without her. Dakota Kai could have took her spot. Dakota Kai could have been in this match. Like I understand what you're building her to, but I don't see her as a legit champion. She's just going. I don't know, man, and that's just my whole thing. Like, if you're gonna give me somebody,
do you put her on the Rio level? And in your
opinion? Yeah,
really, wow,
yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, she could do a little. She has some little moveset, but I'll be honest, that sunset flip was more of Candice LeRae, not Candice Ray, Kaylee Ray, than it was her, and I don't know.
You talking about on the apron there?
Yeah, that was more of her than it was anything. I
stop.
I'm sorry, man. I can't help it, man. I can't help it, man. It's one thing to watch an EO who's small do what she does, because when she does something, it's impactful. When she kicks you, when she hits you, I'm sorry, man. Impact matters. All right, this is still a wrestling business. Impact matters, man. And not to say that taking a punch from someone can't hurt but it's when it's all about the timing of things. And I felt like her timing on things were off, and it just didn't go for me. But Mandy Rose retained, and like I said, man, it was a cool match. There was a few things that I may not have liked about certain matches, but overall, this match, the Fatal 4-way, it was a really good match.
Yeah, my thing is, I got so happy. Soon as EO hit that moonsault and she didn't go for the pin, like she kind of set up a little bit, I'm like, motherfucker, you about to get. Soon as she did that, I was like, oh fuck, we about to lose, and
Hey,
then I seen
Mandy
that boot
Rose.
come out of nowhere.
Hey, Mandy Rose got the best knees in business. All right, I ain't gonna lie, man. When she run up to deliver a
Hey,
knee
she
to
got that Kenny
somebody's
Omega
chin,
knee.
hey, she got a knee, boy. She flipped that boy out when she need to, man.
Hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask you
What's up?
this.
What's up?
Do you think in the perfect world, this
Hmm.
is how they were trying to build Mandy Rose on SmackDown, but she just wasn't ready?
No, 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 because they were too focused on her beauty, and they weren't focused on building her as a wrestler. And when they did very little to do it. So no, the little patience, little like she's gotten time to be
Yeah,
down here and to
yeah,
do all the stuff that she's doing. If they'd have gave her time on the main roster, then yes, it would have worked. But they trying to fast track everything, and it wouldn't when
yeah,
it wasn't looking the way that they wanted it to as fast as they wanted it to. When that's the reason why it's like now you understand you need to have patience with certain things,
yeah.
and that's why it's like now that you ain't really got shit, and now that we got the you trying to tell us and convince us that all these people you buried for all these years or no, so now all of a sudden they're legit. No, like no, man. Like we
Right.
all anyone old enough with common sense knows that. But you can like who you like, but come on, man. We still see it, and that's kind of the issue, man. Like, oh man. But but no, but to answer your question, given the time, if she had given the same time that she did in NXT, I think she could. But and not to say that there wasn't something there with her and Otis, but that was more about that was more about the relationship. And then Dolph Ziggler came in. It wasn't really about her
Right.
wrestling or anything else. And they was trying to push Otis. No, that was about the highlight of that for her.
I will say, I'm not 100% opposed to the quote unquote shift down from the main roster to NXT for certain people. To me, I feel like it did wonders for Finn Balor for the little bit of time he was there. I feel like this is
Yeah,
done
until he
Mandy.
went back. That's the sad part. Until he goes back, and then he's back to being what he is.
Yeah, I feel like it did Mandy do this. I mean, just how
Tremendous,
fast. Yeah,
tremendous.
just how fast she progressed. Not even just from an in-ring standpoint, but from a character standpoint. Mandy was the build as the golden goddess, but she always kind of felt like just self-absorbent and bland. Now
Cause
she's
she
still
was the typical
self-absorbed.
blonde. I'm sorry, she was a typical blonde, dude.
Yeah,
Come on, man. You saw her the minute she changed her hair color and changed her attitude a little bit,
yeah, got
instantly.
bitches,
Guess who?
bitches.
Guess who else? Guess who else that could have probably worked with? You didn't have to change his hair color, but guess if you changed his appearance a little bit, Big E could have changed just
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
dramatically. You could have had a little simple change. He could have still been fun, but you ain't have to look exactly like you still out of the New Day. You could have did something different. It's just if
subtle,
change can
subtle
do
change.
some things like that, then why don't do it for others? Like, and that's the thing, man. And you have people that are really good, but they're just jokes. They're there for entertainment. They're not there to be wrestlers. And because we're wrestling fans, and we're not seeing enough of the growth of wrestling that we want to see, the entertainment stuff is pissing us off.
Man, oh my god, bro! I'm just okay, okay. This has kind of got me a smidge excited for the night because I ain't gonna lie to you. I still think WrestleMania as a whole gonna be a poop fest, which is why my why my expectations is at an all time low. But I'm not gonna lie, this NXT Standard Delivery kind of gave me a little bit to look forward to tonight.
I mean, they ain't got no choice but to go out there. Like they're gonna look. You got to go out there and do your best because you're performing. All right. So I'm not expecting nobody to go out there and not perform their best. The problem is going to be what they have to go out there and do.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of this stuff people care about. Some of it is more just of a gimmick. So it's about what you do. And if you go out there and you don't do anything that's worthwhile and it's corny, then of course the people are going to let you know. But then you're going to have those that are going to love it because it's their favorite person. So it's the wheels are going to keep spinning no matter how many spokes you change. All right. So bro. Let's keep it pushing.
Let's go.
Walter beat LA because we could talk about this all day. That's not even a problem. Walter beat LA Knight. I was gonna say something that my wife said earlier, but she asked me not to say it, so I'm not gonna say it.
No, no, hold on. Hey, is it gonna make for good? Is it gonna make for good content?
It may or may not, but I'm not gonna say it. But I'm just gonna mention it. But I'll tell you off the air.
All right, man.
Uh, yeah, Walter won, and then we got Braun Breaker versus Dolph Ziggler. Man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, not a bad match between these two. Like
No,
Ziggler,
no.
my whole thing is just okay. Ziggler
Come
is
on.
champion to build that next big person that you want to build in NXT. Breaker
Yeah.
lost obviously because he's going to the main roster with Ciampa. They're going up to the main roster. All right, cool. You don't necessarily and I said why can't he be NXT champion? Well, because you don't want him to lose the championship in NXT and then try to look credible going to the main roster. Okay, I can get that. But for a guy like Dolph Ziggler, when someone who's coming up in NXT beats him, it'll be bigger for them that they beat a guy like Dolph Ziggler, who's a former world heavyweight champion, Intercontinental, United States, tag team. He's won all the belts. He's had his time. He's
Mhm.
valuable. He has value to him, and that standpoint from it. And he's going to make these guys look great. Let's just be real. Dolph Ziggler knows how to make people look great. And as long as they got half the talent to be in the ring, they'll look great. Now, everything else that comes with it, that's on Vince and the rest of them. But he can do that much. Okay. I'm we've talked about it. I'm rethinking about it. We're getting ready. We're going over it. I just feel that the right decision was made. Um, Even though we both picked Braun to win, uh, but yeah, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the match too. I'm already at the end, but I'll go back to it in a minute. But and Braun did win, and I mean Braun didn't win, but we both picked Braun. Ziggler won. Braun's going to the main roster. It was a good match, but I felt the ending was, I felt they tried
We
to do too much. It was weak, but they did too much. Like
yeah.
there was a
Yeah,
point where you could have
they
ended
try
it,
to
and they should
protect
have ended it. Yeah,
they try to
yeah,
protect Braun too much, and that's what it was. They
yeah,
needed Braun to
yeah.
take the loss, but they try not to make him look like a chump. But the way they ended up doing it actually ended up hurting him because you did too much. You overcompensated.
Yeah, yeah, you did, and yeah, and then you had Rude come back out after he got tossed out. Like, bruh, isn't that like automatic disqualification? Like you got ejected, you came back
Yeah.
out, and then nothing else happens from that. He's just a
Or
distraction,
the
but
fact that he
still,
or he put his hands on Ziggler and pulled him out multiple times in front of the ref, and the ref
right?
just like,
Like, wait a minute, like, so what was the purpose of that? What was the purpose of throwing him out? I mean, if you
yeah,
weren't gonna really, and then he still was a distraction. But and I feel like that's the disservice to Braun is the
yeah,
fact that if Ziggler had did all of this without Rude out there, then cool, Ziggler beat him, but Braun was badass enough to where it took all that Ziggler had. Uh,
right,
but to have Ziggler, who's you did, but then you look at it and say, well, having Rude come back out to have to help Ziggler makes Braun looks that much bigger and stronger. Okay, I'll give you that. Then you went too far. You did too much. Like and it could have ended a little sooner. But yeah, your thoughts, man.
no, everything you said, I absolutely 100% agree with. I will say this: here's a curveball.
What's
All
up?
right, if this is indeed the end for Braun Breaker and NXT and he's called up, and you're gonna have Dolph Ziggler push that next guy.
Hmm.
Guess who it is? I'm gonna tell you. I am going to give you. I'm gonna peel the curtain back. I'm gonna tell you who I think they're about to push next because they've already made it blatantly obvious. The second in line behind Braun Breaker is Grayson Waller. Why else do you think they had?
Nah,
Well,
nah.
think about it. Just really think about it. AJ Styles, out of all people, AJ Styles. Think of who you got on that roster. Out of all the people, really, you could have had this out feud with anybody, and Grayson Waller, that's the guy you trust in that feud?
Well, you also understand Carmelo Hayes was in the middle of something with Escobar and all that for the North American Championship. So it wasn't like it was an opportunity for him. They were doing something else. Waller had nothing to do. He had just beat Johnny. So it was just that, and Johnny was gone. So it was just, I feel like it was just more of a furthering of just giving him something to do, and considering that this is obviously an idea that they wanted to do and bring people from the main roster to the NXT,
Mm-hmm.
AJ Styles just like, well, yeah, we know we got you doing something almost, but we're gonna have you work with this dude too. So because again, the timing of that didn't make sense. Like, dude, you got him in a major feud on TV with someone else. Like,
Yeah.
why are you giving him double duty? See, it was different with Bron because with Ziggler interfering and going after Bron and Ciampa, that resulted them coming to the main roster. They feuded on both
Yeah.
shows together,
Yeah. Yeah.
where
Yeah.
Waller might have showed up, but it wasn't like they wrestled on both shows. It was just
That's true.
to really, and Amos was already doing what he was doing. So it was the timing of that. I can get where you thinking Waller, but I'm looking at Carmelo. I'm looking at Escobar. I'm looking at a
I ain't gonna
couple other dudes
that boy Mello,
before
he next up. He next up.
I'm looking at a few other people before Waller. I'm not saying he's not in the conversation, but I'm not looking at him to be the next guy. Uh, and honestly, with Dolph being the heel, I gotta think it's gonna be a new face. Now the question
Mm.
is who. I gotta think it's gonna be a face.
LA Knight.
No, he got his ass whooped
Two.
by Walter. It ain't that. No, no, no. Actually, matter of fact. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Now that I just said that statement,
Yeah.
L.A. Knight. I don't know what the hell you was thinking. It's gonna be Walter. Walter's about to take that championship because Walter's about to be that next dude before he get called up. I can't believe you said L.A. Knight. You said that like you said that with such confidence. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I
L.A.
did.
Knight. Like, what the
I
hell?
did.
Hell no. He just got his ass whooped. He ain't finna take nothing from Ziggler.
Oh
Hell
no.
no. He's old, bro. Bro.
Hey, he ain't old, he a veteran. He's
He's
seasoned.
old. He's old. He's seasoned. Well, he's a
Mature.
little seasoned too much. Mature. Yeah, okay. He's a little too mature. He ain't going nowhere, man. Nah. No, Ziggler has a bigger name. That no, and Walter. I
Uh,
eventually assumed that Walter. Now that the next match that we're going to talk about that I was really upset about. Uh, I feel like Walter's really going after the NXT Championship because LA Knight really. LA Knight was such a last minute addition to add to give Walter a match for this card. Like, nah, man, you got to give Walter something more to do. And
dude,
right now, you
Walter
might as well just
lost
go ahead.
weight. You see how much weight he lost, bro? Walter done got toned fast as fuck.
That's because Vince. I mean, that's Vince. That's Vince doing. Walter's been fine the way he is and the way he has been all this time, and now I feel like you're taking a little bit of that away from him. But I hope it's for the best. I mean, if he's losing weight because he wants to lose weight, that's great. But um, I hope that's not to appease Vince. But if it works out for him and he's still healthy and he's still good and he can still do the things that we love seeing Walter do, cool. I'm for that. But if it's the body shaming part of Vince and just not there, you're locked up. No, no, fuck you. Walter was fine the way he was. There was nothing wrong with him. Um, if he was good, he was good then. If there was nothing wrong with him and he needed to, it is what it is. But uh, my big issue, Creed Brothers, MSK,
Yeah, talk
Imperium.
to him.
I skipped
Talk
over
to
this
him.
match, but I think I did it on purpose and not really realizing it. But this right here, see, again, this is where I am upset about the Dusty Cup Classic because MSK didn't need to win this.
Yeah.
They won the Dusty Cup. They won the tag team champions. The Creed Bros won the Dusty Cup. That's who should have walked out uh, because you boycott till I called him Gunther. Well, Leo, it was nice knowing you, brother. It was nice knowing you. But I felt the Creed brothers should have won this match. MSK, I They had their run. I'm not saying they're not a good tag team. They had their run. Um, you it's time to build someone new. The Creed brothers, the Diamond Mine, like this would have been great for them to win. I like the Creed brothers. They're a really
Yeah.
good team. They can work. They don't need to talk much because they got Michael Bivens, which I don't know why the hell this dude came out looking like a pink Cameron with that do rag on his head. You bald as
Hey,
hell.
ball.
You bald as hell. What you got a do rag on your head for? But other than that, yeah, I the match was good. I liked the match. It was a great match. It probably one of the actually I would say it probably was the best match, but uh I just didn't like the victor. And it's not that I don't like MSK. Like I said, they're really good, but
Yeah.
they didn't need to win this. Like this should have been the Creed brothers. Like this should have been the Creed brothers. And not
Yeah.
just because I picked them, because they're the Dusty Club Challenge. They're the new tag team that you want to put out there. And when you that's what you do with the Dusty Cup winner. The Dusty Cup winners win the tag team belts because you're presenting them as the new best, the new great tag team in the company.
Yeah.
And I felt like you dropped the ball right here because MSK shouldn't even been in this match. Like they should not have been in this match. This match was supposed to be Creed Brothers versus Imperium because they won the Dusty Cup. They
Hmm.
should have been, and that's why I didn't even mention them in the predictions because I totally forgot about them. I thought it was just a one-on-one match. So yeah, and then for them to not win, I thought Imperium. Okay, well if Creed Brothers don't win, Imperium retains, but that didn't
Hmm.
happen either.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thing. Like, who did I pick? Just so
We
I
both
can.
picked the Creed brothers. We both picked the Creed brothers because
Okay.
we thought they were gonna win. But that's because I forgot MSK was in the match. That's why I said, wait a minute, MSK. Oh, that's right, it is a triple threat. I totally forgot about that. So
So the thing is with MSK, they've already won, right? Now,
right,
and like you said, Imperium. I feel like you, if the Creed brothers didn't win, Imperium should have retained. But I don't even think Imperium should have retained. All right, I feel like they've had it for long enough. I feel like the Creed brothers are the perfect group to take the titles off of Imperium. Imperium is a
yeah,
smash mouth, legit shoot work tag team. These guys could arguably go up against anybody. I mean, you got Briggs and Jensen, but they're not on the level of the Creed brothers right now. Now they give you a good fight. They're a good team to fight up against. But if I'm looking at who we have on the roster right now that hasn't won the titles already, that you want to push as part of that new breed, I definitely agree with you. I believe the Creed brothers. I mean, the Creed brothers got it. Like my one boy, my one big boy, he got up on that top rope and hit that
the
cannonball. I'm
cannonball,
like,
nice, beautiful
nice
cannonball.
as
Like
fuck. And my thing is,
I'm,
dude, they can stretch you, they can work you, they can flip, they can do shit I didn't even know they could do. They was pulling out shit out the bag today, dude. And on top of that, they have a unique persona because
mhm.
I guess Diamond Mine. At first, I thought Diamond Mine was supposed to be a heel type faction. But now I'm just starting to see it's just a bunch of fucking badasses. Because Roddy Strong was kind of the heel,
They
but then you
were they were heel, but people started liking them because they started liking what they were seeing. You was
got
watching Roddy
yeah,
Strong go out there and wrestle and put on great matches. You were watching the Creed Bros show you why they were good and what they were doing. And Michael
you know
Bivens
what this
was
starting to
Mike being
remind me
Michael
of.
Bivens, so people started liking him.
You know what this starting to remind me of, and not necessarily how they wrestle, but
Mhm,
just the general perception and the change in fan reaction. It's
mhm,
it's kind of like the New Day. You remember when the New Day first came out and people hated them, and then remember eventually like Big E and they started cracking like little jokes, and this would be like little shots at the crowd, but the shit was
mhm.
funny, and the crowd started kind of laughing like, haha. That's how I feel like with Michael Bivens, right? I feel like Michael Bivens be talking this shit, but then it's like, all right, bro, like I like you, like I actually look forward. This shit is funny, and then you see the Creed, bro, like because they like you say, we like what we see. They talk the shit, but they back it up. And I think that's the thing. When we see people that talk big shit, like who the fuck are you? And then we see, oh damn, you can back it. Okay,
Right, like okay, I want to see more of this. I
okay.
want to see more of that, and that's why
Yeah,
I'm like they dropped the ball with this so much because MSK don't need it, man. I'm sorry, they
yeah.
don't need it,
They
but
really
this is where I realized I have to stop watching this for the wrestling aspect and just look at the entertainment.
Yeah.
MSK is entertaining because they're goofy and they're hip and they're bright and they're colorful and they do flips and they do this and they're cool and they're rad and that's what they want. And that's why they won. And that's why I'm like, damn. I that's why I say I have to really stop looking at this,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to WWE. I have to stop looking at the wrestling aspect of it because it's just the entertainment. How entertaining are you? And not to say that the Creed brothers are entertaining, but I'm sorry, I'm entertained by what they do in the ring. I'm entertained by Michael Bivens. That's what makes a great manager when they can go out there and talk and make you believe or convince you of what he says is so true. And then the guys he's talking about go out there and do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That's what makes a great team. That's what makes things work. So yeah, this was the match for me. Great match. Great match. Not, like I said, this is where I say, man, it was like I enjoyed the show, but at the same time, I was with the show. And
Right.
that's why if you listen to anything I've said on it, if anybody's watching, listening to what I've been saying, like he's saying good things, but then being down on it. That's because that's how this show made me feel. I felt like it was an NXT show with main roster shit. So therefore, it just felt it didn't feel it was good wrestling, it was some good stuff, but it was a lot of bad stuff. And I don't think we've ever seen this much in an NXT pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say we don't never see some stuff, but not consistently like that. And
Yeah.
some of the decision making, not as consistent. So yeah, but other than that, man, that's the pay-per-view. It gets a 3 out of me.
Ooh. God damn. He said
It
a
gets a
three.
3 out of me. It
He
gets a
said
3 out
three.
of me, man.
You
It
know
gets a
me. I
3
said
out of me. And
I
I'm
get.
pretty sure it probably was more of a 4, but it gets a 3 out of me.
Bro, you almost made me use the N word. I almost had a Booker T. Hulk Hogan moment. Yeah. I had to kiss myself like, oh, we live.
Oh shit! Oh
Oh,
damn!
hey,
I
hey, hey,
told you. Hey, I told you before we started the show, man. You ain't gonna like the rating I give out. I guarantee you, you ain't gonna like it.
hey,
I guarantee you ain't gonna like it.
this one going on a blooper reel.
Oh man, for real. But I told you, man. I told you wasn't gonna like it when I gave it.
You gave it a 3. I gave it a 7.5. I think, but then again, I just think that's representative of the whole card in general. Because, like I said before, we got on the air, man. We said that we
You
all
gave it
right.
a
So
7.5 out of 5.
out of 5, I thought we was doing out
That's
of
a,
10.
man. I know we always go out of 5, man. We don't never
Oh,
go up to
what?
10.
Well, a 3 out of 5 ain't bad.
Oh, a 3 out of 5. I'm just saying 3 out of, like, if it was it a 5 star, was it a 4? I gave it a 3. It was a good pay per view. I'm gonna
I'm
be
gonna be.
honest with you. There's nothing about this pay per view that will make me rewatch it. And I've never
Mm,
said that about too many NXT pay per views. I'll put it to you like that. Not to say that it wasn't great, like, but there's nothing about this card that would make me go back and rewatch it.
all right, so all right, so not all
Gable
right.
Stevens. I,
uh,
hey, it could happen. What's up, Tony?
man. All right, well,
Gable Stevens. Hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna
um,
see. We're gonna find out. No, not tonight. Tomorrow. It's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. He's
yeah,
showing tomorrow. I was
hey,
about to say, what a
tonight.
huge difference in rating. See, even Leo know, like, wait, no, never do 10. It's always 5. We do the 5 star chat. We do it's 5 stars or not. That's as
Yeah.
far as it'll go.
Oh
Oh shit.
man.
You
Oh
wild,
man.
boy. You wild, man. You wildin', man. You wildin' today, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, if I had an IPA, man, a couple more letters would have slipped out.
Hey, I tell you one thing. I look, you know what? Later tonight though, as we get ready to get out of here, because we
Yeah.
got WrestleMania night 1 getting ready to come up. I gotta go start dinner. But I got 2 IPAs. I guarantee you, I'm gonna have. Well, we going live tonight. Just to let y'all know, we gonna go live. I say probably about a third match before the main event. We definitely want to talk with y'all to just shoot the shit. But There will be an IPA in my hand. There will be a drink, and I will be throwing up some middle fingers and some hell yes, because that's what we are. That's what I'm waiting to see tonight. It just being honest, but we gonna go on. I would say match with the match before the main event match.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll say that. But other than that, man, like I say, the show was a 3. There will be some drinking and cussing later. We hope y'all join us. We won't be too bad, but we hope you join us, and we'll watch this WrestleMania and see what happens.
All right, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, until tonight, WrestleMania. Hey, don't make me say the N-word again. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again
Real
for
talk
tuning
for
in.
real fans, bro. I
Real
just had
talk
to
for real
say it out
fans.
there, man.
I
I
say
just had to
real
put it out
pants.
there.
God damn, I ain't even had no alcohol yet. Real pants. The fuck? Real
Real,
pants.
real pants. You
Real
stupid.
pants. All right. But anywho, until tonight, man, until WrestleMania night 1, Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode.